right, let's go to Terry in Newport. What's up, Terry?
Hi, Dr. John. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm just having a blast.
Just
What's
living
up?
life, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's that YouTuber life. It's that podcaster life. That's right. All right, so what's
Awesome.
up?
So I'm calling because I would like to get a little insight. How can I help my husband navigate away from the life he used to have and the life he wanted and the life he's living and the feeling or need that he needs to lie about things in his past and accept who he is today?
Oh, there's a lot there. Unpack that for me.
Yeah. All right. So my husband.
Hold on. Before you unpack that.
Okay.
Do you hear how much responsibility you've taken on yourself for something
Yes, and I can feel it.
you can't possibly fix?
I know. I just want to help guide him, though.
I know. You love him.
Absolutely.
I don't even know where we're going, but just as you answered that question, it's a lot. Or it's not a lot.
Yes, it is.
It's an impossible task. So I don't even know what you're about to ask me. And we'll get there. But do me a favor as you're telling me this, okay? Will you take a huge deep breath and hold it for a sec? And then let it out. And I want you to drop your shoulders. I want you to intentionally pull them down, like as low as you can get them, away from your ears, okay?
All right.
All right. You're carrying a lot.
That's helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Now we're back. All right. So what's up?
So I've been with my husband 12 years. He's an amazing man. I love him endlessly. We're probably I know I don't believe in soulmates, but we're so greatly matched that I want to help him every step of the way. But in the 12 years, I've obviously learned a lot about him. So he's this big guy. He was the football star, his A game in high school. The only problem is he had a learning, reading and writing disability, and he was classified never able to have a full-time job from his school. And he always wanted to be a Marine, and he wanted to make his father proud. But with his learning disability, he couldn't pass the ASVAB testing to do that. And so he kind of skidded through life, and he had kids. He had his first son before he graduated high school, and so he had to go into the working field. And so he's never been able to really grieve, I guess, the life that he wanted. And he feels like he's still trying to prove that he was good enough. And so when we met, he had told me he was a former Marine and things like that. And there's other various non-truths that he's told me, and I've learned throughout our marriage, and it almost broke our marriage. But I also think he may also be on the spectrum, but I don't know that he's ever been tested for that. And so I just want to help him try to move past that. And I know that when he was a kid, he had a hard life, and lying was part of his life because he had such a hard upbringing. And he's got some traumas that he's never actually worked through either. So I'm just curious how I can help him move through that.
What just came to my mind is going to sound really harsh. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I just let it all out with you?
Absolutely.
I'm going to do this, but we're on the same team, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, man. The greatest gift you could give him would be to stop using him.
Okay.
Because you're getting something from all of this.
All right.
And whether it's caretaking or whether it's you get to really make somebody who has never been loved feel loved, and that feels good. You're continuing to, the way you even phrase it, you started the call by saying how much you loved him and how great and how wonderful he is. He just has some non-truths. Another way to say that is he's been lying to you for the entirety of your marriage. Not about trivial things, about huge things. You married
Yeah,
a
another one.
veteran
Yeah, I thought I did. Yeah,
who
and I
wasn't a
didn't. I thought
veteran.
I married someone who'd never been married before. He had been married before.
That's right.
Yeah,
These are
and those are things where.
major.
Yeah,
And
I know.
you can say, the fact that you can say, to your knowledge, he's never been tested. Y'all been married for 12 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so
completely.
the hard thing here is you're getting something out of this arrangement. What is it?
I wish I knew.
Are you getting security out of it? Are you getting
I
love,
know that
unconditional? What are you getting?
I know he loves me unconditionally as well, because I mean our marriage almost fell apart because I had to step away for a little while, because when my dad died, it woke me up to some things. And so I had to step away for 6 months. And through the 6 months, he was still very, text me every day, call me every day, need to know how I was doing. He was worried about me and my well-being.
What were you?
And
What woke you up when your dad passed?
When I found out that my husband hadn't served in the Marine Corps, it was the only thing I ever lied to my father about. And when my dad thought he had hurt, my mother had corrected my dad on, well, he never served. So my dad called me and said somebody in the family is lying about him. And I love this man. He's my son now. And so I couldn't bring myself to tell my dad the truth. And so it's the only thing I've ever lied to my father about. So I had to step away and really think about things and what I wanted out of this relationship and him.
Yeah.
And so that's what I felt I had to do. So I stepped away for a little bit.
So
and
it
was hard. It was hard.
What brought you
we're
back?
in a really good place now. I do try to correct him on things.
Okay. You try to correct him how? What does that mean?
Call him out on when he's not being true. Like, he's not doing. It's not. I don't feel it's malicious intent. I just feel that he has shame for his past.
Hey, listen. You are not being honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Our pasts are real, and they cause long-term behavioral shifts. There's a biochemical process there. There is a behavioral process. There's a habituation process there. There's all these different reasons.
Yeah. I didn't even know about the ACEs score until I started listening to your show. And I have a very high ACEs score myself. And,
that's what I'm getting at. Somewhere along the way, you came to believe that this is what you were worth, and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And if your husband's got special needs and he's got learning disabilities that prohibit him from telling the truth, that prohibit him from seeing reality as it is, there's much bigger issues going on here. But your continual, you continue to brush very hurtful behavior under a rug because of things that happened to him a long time ago. He's a grown adult with kids and a wife of over a decade. 2 wives.
Yeah.
He's got to grow up. And he's got to act like an adult. And he's got to get the healing that he needs to get done. And he's got to get the resources that he needs to overcome his learning disabilities and his learning challenges, or as they call them now, learning exceptionalities. And there's too many resources out there. But I don't know any outside of the bell curve psychiatric disorders where just lying about big, huge rock things is something that somebody can't control. And more importantly, because he's not on the phone with me right now.
Yeah.
Terry, you're worth being married to somebody who doesn't lie to you about everything.
I know.
And you're worth, it's deeper than that though, because you can't put both feet on the ground because you don't know where the ground is solid.
Mm-hmm.
And lying's one part of it. What else is there? Are you safe?
Absolutely. I've never felt safer with anybody.
Okay.
He is so protective over myself and our daughter.
Okay.
He is. I know it sounds oxymoronic with what you just said, but he's very caring when it comes to me and my child as far as whether we're loved and we're safe. But I want to help him kind of recognize what he's doing. And because sometimes I don't think he recognizes it.
So if what you're asking me is how can you help him recognize it, is you sit down and you say, when you lie, I don't feel safe and I don't feel loved.
Okay.
And if you continue to lie and make me feel unsafe and unloved, I'm going to decide to not be in this relationship anymore, because you are telling me that your feeling of inadequacy is more important than me being loved and safe.
Okay.
Your need to make up stories about your past and your present and your future so that you don't have to face reality makes me feel untethered and unsafe, and it makes me really feel worried about our daughter.
Okay.
And then he gets to be an adult and make some really hard choices. Is he going to get the mental health care that he needs? Is he going to get does he have a job? Is he working?
Absolutely. He's actually a foreman for our local government road things. He does wonder. He's an amazing worker. He works night and day, to provide for us and everything.
Awesome.
He's one of those big, like how you always talk about you're a big Texas guy, and big, strong men don't have feelings. It's definitely
right.
Yeah.
So at some point, and maybe it's you decide to go to a counselor.
Okay.
A therapist. Have you seen somebody?
I'm looking into it. I'm trying to find someone in my local area.
What is your ACEs score?
It's a 7 or an 8.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I've had a pretty traumatic childhood myself.
Okay. Will you stop looking into it and just make a call?
Yeah.
You promise?
I do promise. I've already done it, taken the steps for my daughter to have that.
Okay.
So,
you are taking care of everybody in your life except for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really common thing for somebody who had to survive their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
True?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to love Terry as much as you love this husband of yours. I want you to love Terry as much as you love your daughter. Because somewhere along the way, some things happened to you that should not have happened. And that communicated stories to you of what your value was. And it was less than everybody else. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's not true. It's not true.
Thank you.
You don't believe me, though, and I'm okay with that. You will believe me over time if you'll go talk to somebody, okay?
Yeah, I did it when I was a child. But after certain things happened, my parents did put me in it. But financial things and stuff like that, you can't always continue to do it.
No, I know. It's incredibly expensive, and it's cost prohibitive, and it's a national disgrace in some cases.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
But it is what it is. It's where we're at. Okay. Right now, this is more important. I mean, you've read the data on that stuff. The likelihood that your life is going to be way more challenging and way shorter because of those experiences, because your body's still trying to protect you. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your little girl. I don't want that for your husband. I want y'all to have peace.
Me too.
I know you do.
It would be amazing.
I know you do. What's the one thing keeping you from taking that step? Because you called me wanting to fix your husband.
Yeah, I want to help all three of us,
Okay.
But I think
you've heard it said a million times.
Helping him recognize the traits. I think, I know his sister had offered to pay for us to do couples therapy, and he didn't want anything to do with that. He wanted to work on it on our own, and I think I'm making some headway with him, but I'm not quite there yet, because I feel that we all need it. So
there's going to come a moment when you have to say, this is the way this is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay? And my hope is on the other side of you meeting with a good trauma counselor and working through some of this awful stuff that happened to you. And in addition to the awful stuff that happened to you, just parents dropping their kid off at a counselor's office once a week, and not providing a healing environment at home isn't helpful either.
Okay.
Okay. You've been through a lot. That little body of yours has been through a lot.
It has, yeah.
And that little teenager, that little girl that's been protecting you for a long time, she's really freaking tired right now.
I can imagine. She's amazing.
Yeah,
I wish I had her strength.
You do, because she's you. But you haven't connected the dots yet. And that's what trauma does. It disconnects us from everything. But that little girl is something special. And so is grown-up Terry. And the only person that can't see that is Terry. Do you ever feel like if you started crying, you would never be able to stop?
Yep.
Yes. Here's the thing. In counseling, it's a gross a word, but in counseling, we call it leakage. You can deal with it and let it out, or it will find its way out, and it usually finds its way out in really inopportune times. Okay?
Yeah.
To answer your original question, you can't. There's nothing you're not doing. Your husband isn't lying to you for anything that you've done.
Right.
That's on him. Those are choices he's making. And I've got my own stuff in my past that I will never speak about publicly, ever. I just won't. And what I'll tell you is all of us have choices to make when we're grown-ups, right?
Yep.
And at some point, he needs to choose to quit lying to the single most important person in his life. And that's a choice he's going to make. And it's not because of his childhood. It's because of his adult choices. And you can't fix that or heal that, or you're not doing anything wrong, okay?
Okay.
My hope is on the back end of this, you're going to listen back and you're going to hear, I mean, you are trauma 101. Everybody who's hurting in your life is your fault. Your kids are struggling because of stuff you're not doing right. What do you need to be doing to help your husband not fill in the blank? Lie to you, be disrespectful to you, not pay for stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all we could go down a list.
Yeah.
That's you at the epicenter because everything's your fault. And it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Okay? Will you say the words out loud? I'm worth being well.
I am worth being well.
And I'm going to make a call.
I am going to make a call.
And then I'm going to show up.
I will show up.
Awesome. Will you keep me in the loop on how they go?
Yes.
Okay. Make no bones about it, Terry. It's going to be hell going forward. It's going to be hard. Okay? It's going to be hard. If you think of it like this, when you have surgery, they actually take a knife and they cut you open to get out whatever's wrong, or to fix the bone that's broken, or to get out the tumor or whatever. They actually hurt you more during surgery. It hurts, and you bleed, and it's tough. And then they take care of you, and they close up the wound, and then you start a healing process, and then you go to rehab, and then all of a sudden you wake up, and you are stronger than you ever imagined. And it's time. I'm sorry that somebody hurt you. I'm sorry that somebody continues to hurt you and calls it love. You're worth being well.